First item up for business today will be to call this meeting to order. Next, I would ask it as you are able to, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 3 would be to approve meeting minutes dated June 16th, 2026, the conservation workshop and regular Board of Supervisors meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask that item 3 be tabled till the next meeting.
Second that.
Motion is second to table. Any questions or comments?
We're tabling this because there's something was an error in the minutes. Is that
For the
correct?
journal,
Okay.
for the janitorial
Okay.
bid.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 4 would be to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second, please.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments on today's agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5 would be to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I will approve item 5.
I'll second it.
Motion is second on item 5. Questions or comments?
Morning. Derek Christie, Chief Deputy at the Sheriff's Office.
Hi.
In the consent agenda, we have a couple of wage increase requests in there. And the reason that those came is while Luke and I were looking at the budget in January, we noticed that we had 2 supervisors whose subordinates were actually making more money than they were, obviously with much less responsibilities. And that's our Assistant Jail Administrator, John Garrettson, and our Dispatch Supervisor, Christy Lumsden. So as you'll note in there that we also did a salary survey compared to some other counties with the same positions, also within our county with similar positions that have similar number of employees underneath them and similar responsibilities. So we did request a 7% raise in July and then also the 3% raise that the county was doing. So I wanted to give you guys a little background of why that came about and the little investigation that we did to try to figure out where they need to be to their comparables and also to have that monetary difference between them and their subordinates that they supervise. Do you have any questions for me?
I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to move it from salary to hourly, so it was easier
Yes.
for us to understand.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, we do have the road department and our sheriff's office, the deputies, they're all union employees. So they have a union to investigate, negotiate their wages. You know, the rest of our employees in Webster County don't. So I think it is the department heads to responsibility to make sure that, you know, we're obviously paying our.
I did want to mention, because I think it's been well established that I've been very much against raises above and beyond what everyone else is getting. So I did want to note why I'll be voting for these. There's a few reasons. And given my history of voting otherwise, I wanted to make sure that folks deserved an explanation for this. As you mentioned, for several years, these positions have not had step increases. A few years ago, the plan was to move away from step increases and toward more equitable wages based on a wage study. Still not sure why that process got dropped, but it did. And this is one of the places where it shows. Other step increases across the county continued. These specific positions did not. That said, like you mentioned, you did do county by county comparisons. I think we've established, especially since House File 718, I don't put a lot of weight into that because those numbers can be unreliable. I haven't used them for other roles, and so I'm not using those to make decisions here. But what I am concerned about is the comparison inside our own organization, specifically the difference between these supervisory roles and non-supervisory roles. And because this increase is included in the budget, because I've been assured it's been sustainable, I can support it for this year. Doesn't mean I'm supporting it for every other year after this, but under these circumstances, I believe this is the right vote. I just wanted to make sure, because I know there's going to be, you know, why is Nikki voting for this and not other ones? I just wanted to make sure I had that on the record, why I'm choosing to vote for this one in particular. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 6 be to approve the transfer of properties to the city of Gowrie for the Gowrie Trail project and authorize chair to sign the quick claims deed per memorandum of understanding approved and signed on March 29th, 2022. Full legal descriptions are available in the auditor's office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 6?
Matt Cosgrove, Conservation Director. These mark the closeout of the Gowrie Trail project. So these were part of the process when we wrapped up. The county had to purchase these lands or had them donated for the trail project. They're now being transferred to the city of Fort Dodge as the MOU stated. So appreciate Darren and his team doing the legal work, not only on these deeds, but all these projects. There was a lot of land acquisition. Jamie's team and their group that did all of the grant administration through the federal side, through the DOT. Brenda's team, Shauna's team for all the work they did and the canceled checks and tracking down all the expenditures for $20 million. So appreciate all their efforts. A lot of hands touched these projects, and this wraps up the close of those. And we did receive our final reimbursement check this last week of about $713,000. So projects are closed.
Awesome. Any questions or comments? Nope. I think that's great work. I think I've mentioned it before. I've seen where those projects have attracted people into our county to come work, and I think there's been a lot of benefit to these quality of life projects. So I'm very appreciative to you and all your work that you put into getting these things closed out. No other questions or comments on that. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, approve fiscal year department appropriation changes based on the timing of the fiscal year 2026 pay period and claims for general basic fund as follows. Decrease Department 35 child support recovery 16,000, increase Department 28 medical examiner 16,000, decrease Department 21 veteran affairs $1,927, decrease Department 25 social services $5,650, increase Department 26 general assistance $7,600, decrease Department 09 budget and finance $20,000, decrease Department 01 supervisors $8,000, decrease Department 02 auditor $15,500, increase Department 55 DHS building $35,000, increase Department 08 law enforcement center $8,500.
I will second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on the department appropriations changes? Oh, Crystal, if you want to just jump in real quick, if you've got anything to add to that.
So these are just the basic changes within at the end of each fiscal year to get each department back. If there were lines within the general basic, you'll have general supplemental and rural basic here shortly that will get them back to all positive and within the fund and department and their function.
Thank you, Crystal. And that was Crystal Lloyd, our budget and finance director. I forgot to have her state her name on there. So any questions or comments on that? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 8 would be to approve fiscal year department appropriation changes based on the timing of fiscal year 26 pay period claims for general supplemental fund as follows. Decrease Department 23 Board of Health $2,150. Increase Department 21 Veteran Affairs $2,150.
Mr. Chair, I will move item 8.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on these department appropriations changes? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 9 would be to approve fiscal year department appropriation changes based on the timing of fiscal year 2026 pay period and claims for rural basic fund as follows. Decrease Department 19
Drainage officer, $750. Increase Department 33, County Library, $750.
Mr. Chair, I'll move item 9.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments on item 9? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10 would be to approve request from the Central Iowa Enduro Riders and Iowa Enduro Riders Association to temporarily close approximately 6 miles of county roads southeast of Lehigh from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on August 1st and 2nd, 2026, subject to the requesters being responsible for coordinating and monitoring all necessary traffic control in accordance with the manual on uniform traffic control devices.
So moved.
I will second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 10?
That a bike race? What are the enduro riders?
Oh.
Jamie Joel, county engineer. And enduro bikes are kind of a cross between street bikes and off-road dirt bikes. And this is a race. They've been doing it 15 or 20 years every year down there. Yeah, it's pretty neat to watch. They got a couple locations, I think, where you can have crowd come down and watch. So it's a pretty cool event.
Let's go, Darren.
I don't plan out that far. Talk to me at the end of July.
All right. Any other questions or comments on item 10?
Sounds cool.
All right. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 11, receive and place on file bids for elevator maintenance for the 5 county building elevators.
I'll try and make it through here without coughing. Schumacher, 2 bids, oil and grease inspection and components properly functioning, but repair and replace extra, $825 a month. A discount of 3% if paid annually for a total of $9,603 a year. Full maintenance includes inspection, repair, replacement of normal wear and tear parts, but additional for parts no longer available, and service hours outside of business hours, $1,075 a month. Discount of 3% if paid annually for a total of $12,513 a year. TKE, 1 bid, inspection and components properly functioning with repair and replacement extra, $401.55 a month if paid annually for a total of $4,818.60. Monthly add 7% interest, $429.66 a month, or $5,155.90 for the year. Schindler, 1 bid, inspection and components properly functioning with repair and replacement extra, $1,457.50 a month if paid per month, or $1,375 a month if paid annually, for a total of $16,500 for the year. That is what I received.
Mr. Chair, I motion that we receive and place on file these bids.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on the bids? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 12 would be to approve the low bid for elevator maintenance for the 5 county building elevators.
Mr. Chair, I will make the motion to approve TK Elevators for this contract. What was the amount again?
TK is inspection and components properly functioning with repair and replacement extra, $401.55 a month if paid annually, for a total of $4,818.60. Monthly add 7% interest, $421.66 a month, or $5,155.90 for the year.
The annual for 4,000 and
$118.60.
Just to summarize then, so is it Schumacher was 96?
$9,603.
12,513.
Full maintenance? Yes. And Schindler was 16,500 for the year.
Got a motion then for TKE.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 13 be to approve the low bid for animal control services.
I have it. Well, I think I do. Total animal control had a, an annual amount of $19,200. ASAP services had amount of 30,000 a month. If I'm remembering correctly, if you can just double check that, because that's wildly different.
Full animal control, about 200. ASAP. Monthly retainer of $2,000. 24-hour
Oh.
call. For animal would have been per contract if we were doing wildlife or deer hits or anything else. And then an hourly response rate of $35 per hour for minimum 4 hours. Yeah, and then he said less than 30,000 a month. I think it was intended within 3,000. So just a monthly retainer would be 24,000 plus the hourly rates.
That's where I got the 30,000. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Is there, I'm not sure where, is there a motion right now?
I've not had a motion yet.
Right.
Double checking our.
Gotcha.
We need a motion on the
I
low bid.
believe I am motioning for us to accept total animal control at 19,200.
That annually.
I'll second it.
Yeah, that's it.
Motion and a second for total animal control is the low bid. Any questions or comments on that?
I did have a couple of questions. For total animal control, I think I read that it was only one person. And I'm a little concerned because this is a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year job. So I'm a little concerned that that's a lot for just one person. There was also mention that a monthly bill would be itemized. So I would just want to make sure that it's clear that this is, as indicated, 19,200 as an annual fee versus we're getting a monthly itemized bill with costs above and beyond that. The other thing I have a question about, and maybe this was answered at a previous meeting, was both of these bids referred to Town and Country Vet Clinic as the shelter. Has this been established that they're willing to be the shelter for the county?
So
For
right
the
now,
pound?
temporarily filling in for that. So we'll have to make some arrangements, to either continue with them going forward. Or
Okay,
they'll have to find their own pound service.
okay. Got it.
That was what was put into the bid for it.
All right, awesome. I just wasn't sure about that. Okay, that was just really my two main things. seeing that they were the low bid, I just wanted to make sure that we were comfortable with it being a one-person job, or if it wasn't, just making sure that they had enough coverage, and two, that it was a flat $19,200 annually. Those are just my two concerns. That's it.
So, yeah, first of John Cochran, and then the second was Bob.
Any other questions or comments on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 14, approve resolution 2026-11, a resolution to approve articles on incorporation for Webster County Public Safety Authority. This will be a roll call vote.
Mr. Chair, I will move to approve the resolution 2026-11.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 14?
I would just like to thank David for responding to my emails as promptly as he did, as I was going through all that language with him. So thank you.
I'll just say the creation of a public safety authority is an important step in addressing a longstanding unsustainable problem and facility need that affects both Webster County and Fort Dodge as a whole. This is strictly for a public safety center, and the need for a jail hasn't gone away since 2023. It's only grown more urgent. My hope is that with this, we can work together to finally solve the problem and move forward.
Any other questions or comments on the resolution? Okay. Hearing none, this would be a roll call vote.
Vote aye.
Cochran, aye.
Conrad, aye.
Ike, aye. Let the record reflect it was all ayes unanimous. Item 15, approve and allow chair to sign behavioral health administrative system navigation location agreement.
Item 15.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions or comments on item 15?
What this is Iowa Primary Care Association wanted some space to 2 days a week over at the DHS building, just to come in and use a desk over there. So they wanted an MOU with a cost of $150 a month that we'll be receiving from them for them using that desk.
Just to piggyback on that, this is all part of the restructuring of our health care system here in Iowa that started just recently. CICS charged with behavioral and physical disabilities or health things, and now they're changing physical end of things. So things like this will be popping up.
Any other questions or comments on item 15? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 16, review and approve MIS director to sign new 5-year lease agreement with Marco for Konica C36 1i copier at $120 per month.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 16?
Good morning. Andrew McGill, the MIS Director for Webster County. So we currently have 2 copiers upstairs that we were in separate offices that we were using. They are over the 5-year agreement. So it's time to replace them. We're just going to replace them with one. So we're going to reduce our cost from $273 a month down to $126. We did not get some of the features that we've had in our previous copiers because we really don't need them anymore. You know, with everybody having their own, machines in their office, with some of the same functions that we were doing in previous years, we opted to go with a slower unit and with less options on it because we really didn't need them. So standard lease agreement. I had Darren look at it, and I actually put in there a clause that if for some reason when the lease payment comes in, or a request for payment comes in and it comes in after, like, we've already paid bills, that we don't get charged for a late fee. So
It'll stay the flat rate? The full
126 for
5
5 years. So I looked at 3 other options, and this is the lowest of the 3.
I know that that's been the trend. I know we've talked in previous meetings before, how there's always like marginal increases, especially on software, so year over year. So I just want to make sure this.
This is it is a 126 for the 5 years.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on item 16? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 17, review and approve MIS Director to sign statement of work and professional service agreement with Veris Corp Firewalls Maintenance and Configuration.
Mr. Chair, I will move item 17.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on 17?
So, again, so this is something new that we're going to do this year. With us having as many firewalls that we have within our infrastructure, whether it be VPNs, site-to-site VPNs, or just internet connectivity, they're all similar manufacturer, the same manufacturer. And so we're hiring Veris to come in and look over the configurations, make sure we got them configured correctly, and also to help us with the new NCIC requirements that are coming in August. So make sure that's set up properly, make sure that that VPN and that tunnel set up properly too. So this is a yearly contract. We will be meeting with them on about every other month, just to go over our firewalls again to make sure, the threats are continuing to happen and they keep changing. And we tend to set and forget things and not always meet what we need, the challenges that are being presented to us. So with them on board, I'm able to meet with them. They see so much threat activity. They know what needs to be changed on our firewalls to help protect our networks. And so this is it's an annual fee of $9,000. I think it's money well spent. I've talked to some of the other counties that are using this company for the similar reasons, and they find it very beneficial. Any questions for me? And the money's in my budget, if you want to ask me that.
What's that?
The money is in my budget, if you want to ask that.
You know where I was headed with it. Is this something we'll have to renew every year then?
Yes, if you read the contract, I think towards the last page or so, it is something that we will have to renew every year. So there may be a cost increase associated with that. This is something that we're going to try for this year, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes well, we will probably likely want to renew it. If not, we got it towards 2 months before the end of the contract, we can cancel for the next year. Okay. Anything else?
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Item 18, review and approve MIS Director to sign new 3-year master service agreement and quote from Liftoff for Office 365 licenses.
I'll move 18.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 18?
Again, Andrew McGill with not MIS Director. So this is our Microsoft licensing that we have, we're required to have through ICAP insurance and everything. They highly recommend we keep this. So this company has helped us. They helped us set it up, and they provide us training throughout the years free of charge. So it's all part of the service that we're paying for here. They provide the licensing for us. I've looked at using a couple other vendors. There's not that much difference in cost, so it makes sense for us to go in for another 3 years of contract with them. Now, I will state this: Microsoft is changing their pricing. Every year it can go up, so we will have to plan for that. This does not lock in our rates for 3 years. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So that is something we will start to kind of plan for every year. So the main thing we get out of this is support. When we have an issue with our environment, we can call them and they can help us walk through the issues. And they also provide us training and everything else that we need for me and my staff. Any questions for me?
What's kind of the average increase you've seen on this?
Well, this year, I was a little concerned when I saw the price on here, but then I saw they also added a discount, but it's gone up quite a bit. You're looking at 8 to 10%. And sometimes even higher. It just kind of depends. Microsoft really took a big jump this year. So, and we are trying to keep our license counts down as much as we can. And we're getting a little creative on how we do some of it. We use shared mailboxes, maybe instead of using a license up for it. But anyway, it's one of those things that we need to have. And it actually has been a good thing for us. It's been easier for us to not to worry about server maintenance and software upgrades and that stuff. It's all handled through Microsoft. So.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 19, review and approve MIS director to sign cybersecurity MOU with the state of Iowa.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 19?
Oh, Andrew McGill, MIS Director Ian. This is this MOU that we signed, I believe it was 3 years ago with the state. It's for our CrowdStrike product. As you see on this one though, it's only for 1 more year. So I'm not sure what that means if they're going to renew it after this next year or not. So we need to keep that in mind because for some reason that goes away with everything that's going on in the state right now. And if Homeland Security and them don't want to provide the software for us, we may have to endure an expense of getting something back in the county system. So like I said, we're good, covered for another year. So at least it goes to June of next year. So I would think by December of this year, we'll know for sure if it's going to be renewed or not. So, but anyway, this is what this is. It's just a memorandum of understanding with the state to provide that product for us. Any questions?
Questions or comments?
And this right now is no cost to the county. So for now.
Anything else? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda would be the citizens' opportunity to address the board with items not on the agenda. Yeah, go ahead and come up to the mic and name and where you're from and.
Hi, good morning. Tina Cassidy, resident of Webster County for over 40 or 50 years. And specifically, it's Elkhorn Township, which is on the south end. I came to the meeting 2 weeks ago and we talked about the Webster County Comprehensive Plan. Today, I'd like to also talk about in the kind of work together about the communications in regards to the 28E and the resolution that you passed today for the jail. Okay. With that, I am not up here to say yes or no to a jail. I don't have enough information about specifics. I do want to represent our community on transparency and communication. Okay, so with that, it was nice to see that there was an article in the paper about the 28E and the jail. If you look at it, the Messenger had it on, I think it was on the 27th, the article. Very nice article. You guys are not in control of how the Messenger writes it up because they did not put a date or a time, just it said Tuesday. But that was a lot bigger than the 0.08 font that they usually use in the back because it was not under notifications, but it was, you know, a really nice long article. With that also, there was a Fort Dodge on our Facebook page. There was a Fort Dodge write-up that was copied, pasted in there, and I think it was dated the 26th. Okay. So we're looking at, today is the 30th. We had 3 or 4 days to, as members of this county, to read that, digest it, and get time off to come to this meeting. Okay. It states with the open meeting laws that you only have to give 24 hours. Okay, which was done. With that, there's a big difference between shall and may. When you work with state codes, shall means what you have to do, which is 24 hours. May, and a way that you satisfy the may is you have the Facebook account and you put it on there. I would like to say thank you to Nikki Conrad for her very professional way of commenting on people's comments, because there were quite a few comments and you did a good job with that. It didn't get any dicey, even though some of the comments were dicey. Okay. And I appreciate that, because now in the current worldview, that's where people are going for your information. And if you can't get off work to come here on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, you do have some kind of say with Facebook. And as you can see, all the comments on there, this was really popped off, a lot of comments. Okay. My question about this is, since the county supervisors, their mission and their vision is basically for residents to be valued and their public opinion, which I appreciate being able to have this spot in your agenda, but also to watch taxpayer dollars and future outlook for the community, which coincides with the Webster County Comprehensive Plan, see how those work together, but also full transparency. When you're looking at big projects, I know this was voted down in 2023, right? It was 58.6. It had to be 60%.
54 point something was it?
54, okay. With that, with full transparency, to bring this up again, and just get it out to the public in the matter of less than a week, I don't think that's full transparency. I would like to see, I looked through the last 2 years to see if there was a working meeting about this authorization and even the jail, which I would have hoped that there was, because you have working meetings for budget, and this would be a huge part of that. There has been nothing posted. So am I wrong that there has been no working team meetings on this subject in the last 2 years?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just today is like a very, very preliminary step. There's been no vote to approve a jail. There's been no,
Right.
technically, there's been no discussion of a jail. What we've done is set up under the Iowa Code. What's proposed today and what was put out is just to set up a very preliminary step in having these public discussions. It's this board, this joint authority, that the city has a meeting coming up, I believe, tonight, and we have a meeting now. There's a chapter in the Iowa Code, 346 and 347, that talk about how this all works. But this is the beginning of the step to have that public dialogue. This isn't, we're approving the building of a new jail. This is, we're establishing the entity that then starts working on that, having those public meetings and working on whether, borrowing money or all these details happen and how they happen. This is just putting together the code required section to give this entity the right to start that process. That just because there was a vote a few years ago doesn't mean the need went away. And in fact, it's gotten worse. I think you'd hear that from anybody who works in local law enforcement, the frustrations with not being able to arrest people because there's no room at the inn, in essence. The dilapidated structure, the need hasn't changed. And yeah, the voters didn't hit that threshold, but a majority of voters felt it was needed. So this is another, it's slightly different in structure, but it's another alternative way in partnering with the city that the county can get this done. Before, it was a county solo project. This is a new way of approaching it that can have some, through this body that's being established, if it passes both chambers, to start that process. So there hasn't been through this board, workshops, et cetera. This is launching that process to see where it goes, in essence, is the way I understand it. I don't know, Nikki probably knows more about it than I do, and she can chime in, but I think putting this out to let people know, hey, we're thinking about this, this is that step. And then all those other discussions that are going to happen with the public, between the city, the county, and if this, presuming this joint authority is established through this joint authority, working out those sorts of details. But it, like I said, it's just very preliminary, and we're starting the public process of it now. And it's by no means a vote that we're going to build a jail, or even that we're putting a bond issue forward or what have you. That's not happening today.
Well, and that answers a couple of my questions, because with this authorization for this board, which is supposedly, since it has not been a working team, anything, we've come up with a date to pick the members, which is June 12th or July 12th. Is that correct?
That I don't know. I'm not part of
It
that.
was in the paper. It was also on the site.
Oh, if you don't mind me interrupting so I can answer a question. There have been conversations that I've been a part of.
Okay.
This full board has
Has
not
not.
been a part of them.
Okay.
I've been in conversations with the city and with law enforcement simply because 3 years ago, I was part of the group that went out into the communities and did town halls and was trying, to inform people about the need for a new jail. So it made sense that I was the one talking about the need for a new jail. And we've had conversations since the end of last vote to talk about, okay, well, we still need to fix things in the law enforcement center. We still need to fix things in the jail. And Sheriff Fleener has done an incredible job of trying to put bandages on things. He has we got new new video system to hopefully help some of the bad actors, inmates in the jail from doing horrible things that I won't get into here that have hurt the infrastructure of the jail and consequently the actual building itself. They have implemented ankle monitor systems to hopefully bring in some revenue and help clear out some of the backlog. But there's only so much that they can do, and the need still persists. So there have been conversations. There have been conversations all along. And then we've also been obviously talking with the city, like they know that we need this. Chief Quinn is up to his armpits in frustration with the fact that they either can't cite, they have to cite people and then release them because we don't have space in the jail to take people. So there have been conversations because everyone's frustrated with the fact that there's nothing that we can do with some of like the common criminals that we have there that are walking because we don't have space in there. There's frustration that there's structural deficiencies, and Supervisor Thode can talk to you about those because he's in charge of that building right now. So to answer your question, there have been conversations, and there's obviously been conversations because somebody needs to get together and put this together and talk to Darren, is this what we want to do? And what language do we want to put together? But to answer your question, this group as a whole has not had a conversation, and that's what this today represents. And to Darren's point, this is, again, the very first step in opening up that conversation to the general public of this is something we think is desperately needed. We've waited 3 years. We said 3 years ago, we really, really need this. We really tried our best to make it something that we can work with, but my gosh, it's just not working. And so now we've come up with a possible solution, and fingers crossed, but now we're opening up the conversation to the general public of, hey, what do you think? It's been 3 years. What do you think now? And so it's not anybody trying to hide things from the general public. It's, hey, we've all talked, the city agrees, the county agrees, we're all on board with this. We've just approved the authority. Voters, what do you think? So it's that
Like I
sort of
said,
transparency.
This is not at all about whether it should be there or it shouldn't be there. It's the processes that go with it. And when you look at general public and they look at that and they say, this is going through. I'm not even quite sure what it's there for. I know we voted about it before. And it lists, the board will be decided by July 12th. It lists meetings will be started. All of this was planned prior to even this authorization. Okay, so somehow there's been all of this work done. And the question is you're starting now. The election is in November. Very small window of time to get around and do what needs to be done to pull that extra 10% to the direction that it goes.
Don't we know it?
And
Yes.
I'm just wondering why it wasn't started a year ago. You guys would have been so far ahead.
Yes, we've had these conversations and it's, as you
You
can.
see how it feels very rushed, and then that looks
Absolutely.
bad for you guys.
Yeah.
It looks like you're trying to throw something in
Yep.
last minute so that they can get it by.
Yep.
And I hope that it doesn't backlash on you to say,
Yep.
Hey, this is ridiculous. We needed more time. We need more information, because not only is it fast time, but it's also a fast time for anybody who's on this board. You got to come up with the amount, which is probably going to be $50 million if you look at how much, the rates have increased in 3 years.
Mhm.
$50 million, and you're throwing it at the public in 4 months. You see what I mean? Can you see?
Yep.
I'm an older person now, duh. And the older people are going to remember that it was before. And then you throw and say, well, now, taxes have increased in this
Mhm.
county. Older people have less income to
Mhm.
pay for it. And now in 4 months, their taxes are going, but it doesn't, you haven't had the time to say how much it's going to increase. You're not going to have the time to get around. I mean, when the Fort Dodge School Districts did their bond issue or what they were doing, they really got around. They really had the time. You guys are going to throw this out there and you're not going to have the time to do the job that I think a lot of citizens are going to be asking questions about. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
And
And
with that, I'm just going to,
Mhm.
okay, Webster County plan is very similar.
well, can I speak on that for a second though? We have been talking about this for a while and there's a lot behind the scenes that has to go into it
Mhm.
because we're talking real estate.
I
Right?
know.
We're
I know.
talking real estate and this is not something that you just go into lightly.
Oh, right.
And so the reason why you have this needs to be done on whatever the date, I'm just throwing it out, July 12th or whatever, is because we do have a timeline that has to be followed. And so we want to give the public advance notice of, we're going to be doing it on this date so that you can come to these meetings and say, okay, I know that I want to be there on whatever, July 12th, so that I can listen and hear what they're talking about or who they're going to put on this commission or whatever the case may be, right? We want to put that information out as much as humanly possible. The other thing is, we've been talking about it for a while and it's there's a lot that goes into it. How do we best present it to the voters? Do we want to present it to the voters? We have a lot of people on fixed incomes. Is this the right time?
Would you actually, I mean, this organization has actually thought about, we can't get it done in time?
Yes. And these are conversations that we've had. Is this the right time? We had these conversations last year. Is this the right time? We need EMS as an essential service. We can't do it this year because EMS as an essential service is going to be on the ballot. We don't want things there's a lot of things that go into it. And as much as I don't want to rush things either, we do desperately need a jail. And so what we're trying to do now is open up these conversations and hopefully have this sort of dialogue and get out in front of the public. And I'm really glad that you're here so we can have this type of conversation. And I hope folks come to the meeting tonight at the city to have these sorts of conversations so that we can get this information out. Because I think you bring in a lot of really great points. And I don't know where I was going from there. So
Well, I'm just going to make an analogy here. With the Webster County Comprehensive Plan, when it was started in 2009, and then it was redone in 2022. It pretty much was specifically, if you look at the notes, for helping get grants for the bike paths that came through, okay? The problem is, that's what it was, looked like it was for, and then it turned into rezoning areas of this county that nobody knew about because we didn't understand that it had that authority to do that. Not authority, but suggestion that the supervisors took, and planning and zoning, none of you guys, because you weren't there in 2009. I understand that, but that's where it went and that's where it's gone from now. You have this article of incorporation, which gives this board, which is of 3 people, okay? With that, the title of it is, I got it written down here, say it again.
Joint authority.
Joint authority, but what is it called? It's Safety, Webster County,
Public Safety Authority.
Safety Authority.
Mhm.
Where does that end? So now we're using that because we have to look at safety as to a jail. Okay. Is there an ending date for that authority? It has to have an ending date if you're looking at the 28E and then you're looking at the articles that go with it. There's a lot of specifics that you have to put in there about, is there going to be an ending date? I don't want it to be like the Webster County Comprehension Plan, where it is updated from 2009 to 2022. And then all of a sudden it has rezoning rights. And do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it says safety, does that mean, is that a large outreaching fingers that says, oh, you know what? I think we need something over on the south end of town and we're going to use money for that. And then, safety, that might be something to do with this. And 3 people are deciding this stuff.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So it can't be what it was, the analogy, because what the Webster County Comprehensive Plan did, it screwed our whole end of Elkhorn Township up, because now we've got mining in our backyards. And when I say backyards, I mean your backyard has a 20-foot berm and equipment running 24/7 on property that the average home price is $350,000 to $500,000. Okay. So with that got out of control and we can't pull it back. They already own the property. If any of the supervisors, I know Nate Montgomery has driven down that road, you can see what this all-in-reaching comprehensive plan that is not code, but turned into code. See what I'm saying? We don't want that to happen to this. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
That's why I'm not arguing one way or the other to it. But what I am arguing is 4 months is not enough time for you guys to do your work effectively. And it is not enough time to get this out to public so that they can really understand the needs. Because if we have a need and it was really important, we should have started this last year and gotten out there and you could have gotten citizens to come out and go to all the meetings too. 4 months is not enough time.
Well, and I would beg to say we should have passed it 3 years ago.
Yes, yes.
But
I would agree with you
A
100%.
vote is what it is. So
I would agree 100% because I have a whole list of questions about some of the numbers and stuff. Because I'm like, oh, is that how many are running through? Boy, I did not know that. And then I have to start looking it up.
will you do me a favor? Will you, when you have these questions, will you write them down? I can give you my email address. And then we are putting together like a frequently asked questions. Myself and the folks at the city are running through like questions that people have anyway. We're kind of to be honest, we're kind of looking through the comment section like you were talking about, common questions that people are asking. So if you have these questions, chances are a lot of other folks do too, especially when it comes to numbers, and we can get those numbers for you. So if you would email them to me, we can get those for you. And then we can also give them out to the public because like I said, if
They're
you've
gonna
got
be
the
looking on
question,
Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah.
I would really appreciate that.
With the 28E. I am familiar with 28Es. I have not run across this articles of authorization, that part of it. I know that it's done. One of the questions that just popped in my mind is, this is a big job for 3 people. Okay, and of the 3 people, what is the discretionary salary that they'll be getting for this?
No compensation.
No
per code.
compensation or
Yeah.
whatever?
This authority, you can just Google and you can pop it up, but Iowa Code Chapter 346. If you just look up 346, it's about 4 pages.
Yeah,
I
already read it.
Okay, so that basically tells you, if you already read it, then it says in there that there's no compensation, so.
Discretionary. I was wondering if the discretionary part of that meant, is there someone else that's going to get paid to do the work? With that, I'm just saying 3 people is, that's a lot of work for
So-
free. Because if it's going to be a supervisor and a city, they're going to take a lot of time off to the regular job just to do that. And I think to do it in 4 months, unless you're using all of your materials that you had from the last one, which, you know, would be an easier way to do it.
Can't be any of the elected officials, so it'll be independent people that'll be.
I mean, I'm just saying that's a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, and I view it a lot like, you know, some of the other boards and commissions and things that we have, you know, that they may not be paid. They're going to help give some direction. They're going to leverage Darren when they've got legal questions, or Luke when they've got questions on, you know, what, you know, the jail or the city on, you know, what are some needs that we can address in there. I mean, they're going to leverage a lot of different people. So while it may be 3 people that are represented on that commission, they're going to leverage, you know, any and all of the resources that any of our other boards and commissions would have to be able to get the information that they need or they want. I mean, planning and zoning does that. You know, they'll ask Darren of, you know, hey, what are some of the legalities of this? Jamie does, you know, there's a lot of different avenues where they can get information. It's not just solely those 3 people are only going to be the 3 people doing this. It's going to be, hey, here's what they need. Here's the resources. Here's the information we've got. So while those 3 make up the commission, they're not the only 3 people working.
Well, and any changes that they make to their bylaws, like you were wondering about their trying to expand out their power, they need approval. They can write their proposed change to bylaws, and this is right here in the 28E, but both this board and the city board would have to approve it. So
And when you have a resolution like you passed today, the 2026-11, is it under, when I look at the resolutions, there was no PDF or anything to look up what the resolution actually said? And do you only post that once it's passed?
that should have been in the auditor's office.
No, it wasn't. I just looked at it this morning too.
We're missing the joint authority articles of incorporation, or were you not able to find the?
I looked under
Public safety.
resolutions. You go on the site, you look under resolutions, you look under year, then I saw the 2026-10 and all the other ones, just 2026-11.
Wasn't
Want to
passed.
speak on that?
Yeah.
It's not posted until after it's passed.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
know. It's not posted until after.
Yeah, it's only.
With that, I'd just like to, move this along. I am not for or against the jail at all. What I am is for total transparency, what your vision and mission state, so that the general public know what's coming in a timely manner. Okay. 4 days to me is not a timely manner for this to get started. With that being said, since it's been passed, that 4 months is not a timely manner for the job to get done efficiently and correctly, especially when it is dealing with $50 million. And as a citizen, I'm just kind of watching and seeing when are things posted? I work. Most of the people do work. And when you're working and you don't take the Fort Dodge Messenger, you get on Facebook, that's your thing to look at. Okay, hallelujah, you guys have that. But you have to get time off. If there's 4 days to a vote like this, the only people you're going to get are the people who are retired or they're self-employed because they can't get here. Okay, they can talk about it, which is not always positive, but $50 million thing should have had more time. You would have got more people here,
And we'll have more conversations about it.
but it's still going to be posted on Facebook in the messenger at 0.08. It's going to be word of mouth, and people can't get off work, even though they have strong opinions, because they have to make a living. You know how that is. And I don't know how, hopefully the meetings will be in the evenings, so some of the people can come then. But if you're looking at times, you're lucky to get maybe 2 meetings a month. Do you know what I mean?
Just for additional accessibility, I know some people can't get onto their phone or internet perhaps when they're at work too, but we have a bunch of folks who are
Yeah.
participating to raise their hand. There's also for any major thing, an opportunity to submit written comments.
Yep.
So they can email their representative or send it to the auditor's office, and it'll come forward and be
But-
read at the meeting, which is,
Which is what I'm going to have to do once school starts
yeah,
again.
it's hard, you know,
Because
people.
they're not going to let me go at 10 o'clock to go in and get online.
Well, and the argument, no time of day is going to be good for everybody. Cause
Right.
you have them at, I mean, the
That's why
city,
I'm
the
just
city has
saying
them at 5:30 and you get complaints because it's dinner time and you can't, nobody will take the kids.
And I
So,
get that. I get that. And
Yeah.
it helps if the recordings, because you can watch them and things like
Mhm.
that. But if you're looking at the next 4 months, logically, you'll be lucky to get in 2 evening meetings per month if you're lucky. And that's historically not a lot of people attending to those. So you might want to think about that. But I just want a thorough job done. And I want you to be aware of the restrictions that you put on yourself.
and we've been talking about an aggressive rollout. So thank you.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much. Bye.
Appreciate it. And
Bye.
Also,
Good afternoon.
you can come talk to me anytime. So thanks.
And like I said, good job on the Facebook account.
Sometimes. Thanks.
Just to kind of add to that real quick.
Well,
Dean Kitley, I live in Fort Dodge
hi, Dean.
for the city. Your biggest problem is gonna be the city tonight. They're not transparent on anything. The county, I think you're okay. I'm 100% plus for all this. We gotta have this. But if you get the city vote, they're gonna blame them guys over there. They're not transparent, and I've talked to them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've talked to you.
Okay.
I'm talking to them, but
Okay.
you're the problem and you're gonna find out tonight.
Yeah, just,
They're not transparent. And if you can get them to be transparent, you'll get it through. We've got to have this jail. It's got to be done. But they have lied to us city people, the taxpayers, and that's the way it is.
Steve, I would just respectfully ask you to take your complaints to the city,
I'm done.
All right.
I've done it. But I'm just telling you.
Thank you.
You've got, that's the problem. And they're gonna find out tonight at their
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
that's where it is.
Yeah, and I do want to say, just to circle back real quick, if you go to our website, we've got our emails. As Darren mentioned, when we get comments in, whether it's to the auditor, to us, when it's related to an item on our agenda, we always read those comments in here so that people are aware of the comments that are made. So just to kind of circle back to what you were saying there, I mean, anytime you've got something, you can send it to the whole board or Shauna or just Nate or Nikki, whoever you want to send it to there, and then those comments will get read. So even if you can't be here and you have a comment on it, we welcome, any of those comments that way, even if you can't be present physically or on the call in the meeting. So,
Oh, and they need to come through email because I can't possibly go through social media and give every comment to Shauna. So
Yeah.
if you want a comment to be in the public record, it needs to come through email or written down and given to one of us here, or come talk to us or come on the show. I
just have a quick question. David, what time is your meeting tonight? Are they recorded or okay. Can you
City-
zoom in or anything or?
City meeting is at 5:00 at the city council
Oh, it's 5 o'clock?
chambers tonight.
Okay.
David just said that the city council meeting is tonight at 5 PM at the city council chambers at City Hall.
Any other questions or comments? Opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Next would be Board of Supervisors Committee reports.
Saturday, we had the ribbon cutting and the open house for Sprouts Early Education and Development there across from Friendship Haven. Last week, we did our CFR and our Central Ave Juvenile Detention meetings. And tonight, I'm going to Algona for the pipeline safety. So in case they have anything new on Summit, I'll be able to pick up on it. That was for your benefit.
I've got Webster County Crime Stoppers coming up in the next 2 weeks. We're still working on the cameras. The golf tournament went pretty well. I had CICS, the opioid meeting in Midas all last week. They still need bus drivers for the DART bus. I guess since the city's been having a hard time, thank you to the city for the help with Midas. For those of you guys trying to keep yourselves entertained during these hot days, especially those with families, remember to check out what the libraries are doing. Webster County Conservation, churches and other religious organizations are doing things. APHIS, Parks and Recs always has something. It sounds like tonight at 5, there'll be entertainment at the city council.
Oh, it's my turn. All right. We had the WHO Great Tractor Ride a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to thank Visit Fort Dodge for getting them to come to Webster County. They were here for 3 days. I don't know if anybody went there, but it was pretty dang cool to see. The governor was here, as was the Secretary of Agriculture, and our friend, former Representative Mike Sexton, who's now working at the USDA. He popped by with his overalls. So that was good to see him. Anyway, and then a very well-attended Cancer in Iowa, 99 counties. It was very eye-opening. I don't know if anyone was able to attend that as well. I did online. I was really happy. Happy is not the right word. Glad to be in that. We had City County on Friday. Supervisor Hike and I did. Pride was on Saturday. They put on a great festival as always. Tonight, as we mentioned, there's a city council meeting. Tomorrow is our EMS Advisory Council meeting starting at 5:30 right in this very room. Saturday is the 4th of July, the 250th birthday of America. So happy birthday to the US of A. And then a week from Friday, we have City County again. There we go.
When John was talking about some of the things to do in the community, with the heat wave we're under, remember that Olson Park Splash Pad is free. You can go in there and cool down with the kiddos, if you can't afford to get into a place like the Aquatic Center, which is another great option. You know, I think kids 4 and under free, to the Aquatic Center that the city has, and reasonable rates for adults and younger kids. So, do your best to check on your elderly neighbors, family members, friends, because, you know, air conditioning units are overworked, and you want to make sure your friends are okay, especially the most vulnerable.
Add to that a little bit. If you are at the pool or splash pad, make sure you're drinking a lot of water.
Mhm.
Even though it feels nice, still stay hydrated and sunscreen. This week I've got a Board of Health meeting coming up on the 2nd. And as Supervisor Conrad stated, we have our Growth Alliance City County collaboration meeting next week. And that's about it that I've got on the agenda.
I had one more thing to add. Sorry about that. Did want to thank Doug Vincent. Today's his last day with Johnson Controls. So if you see him wandering around, give him a clap on the back and tell him thanks for all of his service. He's not technically a Webster County employee, but we think of him like one. So tell him hello. And then Dan Lewandowski from Veteran Affairs is retiring as well. So just wanted to give him a shout out and thank him for all of his service to Webster County too. That's it.
No, a couple of great guys there, and they will be truly missed in here at their services. So just thanks both of them and hopefully they get to have a little fun in retirement now. So any other questions or comments on the supervisor committee reports? Next item would be to allow claims.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second on claims. Any questions or comments on those? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Last item for today would be to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments on the adjournment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
You.